Welcome again, live on Twitch, the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. My name is Stan By, along with my very close personal longtime friend, Tool Time.
Yes. Thanks. I was standing by for my name to be announced. All right, well, we got an excellent game here today as Team USA East goes up against Team Canada. Right now, we're about to get ready. Well, how about you read us off the Team USA East roster?
Team USA East scheduled to appear 101, Ari Cantrell. 13, Sugar Cookies. 171, Gilman. Number 2, Princess Sleia. 206, Road Rage. 212, Kaposi. 22 is Connor. 248, Ruckus. 28, your Captain Bonnet. 62, Hernandez. Number 7, Haley Dubinsky. 731, Enigma. 817, Boomerang. Number 9, Dragonfire. 90, Hot Wheels.
And for Team Canada, we have number 13, Nutcase Nadia, 15, Candy Crusher, 16, Bloody L, number 2, QT, 222, Sarah Seidel, number 40, Depressor, number 406, T-Bomb, 5151, Houdini, 56, Mac Daddy, 65, Teja Vu, your team captain, number 8, Kryptonite. Number 815, Smacklemore. 901, Cassidy Jade. 911, Wolfblade Jr. And number 99, Ruthless. And right now we have for Canada, number 56 going up against USA 206.
And battling for lead jam, a strictly defensive pack right now. And no doubt this will be a hotly contested game, as we have seen these teams before, starting yesterday in that round robin, if you're just joining us. 30 seconds gone in the jam, and a scoring pass ongoing for Road Rage. Again, good to see Road Rage back on the track. Did take part yesterday.
And that, again, with the Road Rage being back, excellent to see them back out there, because we've been here since JRDA Champs over the weekend and took a pretty nasty hit. Had to get checked out, and great to see that not only is he well, but back on the track. 2
major high-class roller derby events in the same weekend, which speaks to the endurance and also the growth of roller derby worldwide, as Canada's best skaters meeting the best skaters from the eastern, roughly, portion of the U.S. 9-4 jam, everyone on the board.
And speaking of growth, WFTDA will be experiencing a growth spurt soon, with a number of skaters aging out this year. Right now, for Team Canada, Wolfblade Jr. going up against Bonnet.
Right you are. The future is now. And now, lead jam, Wolfblade Jr.
.28 out of the pack, making the initial. Team USA back up to full strength on blockers.
Had under a second to get that jam called off, did so.
No points scored on that one, but an excellent shutout for Team Canada's lead jammer.
And yeah, it was. Offense and defense happening at the same time in this game. USA East versus Canada.
And for East, we have 248 Ruckus going up against number 56 Mac Daddy.
Canada in the red with the maple leaf trim, along with the flannel accents on the tights. Lead jam East USA in the blue with black trim and a little white. Just a little difference between their uniforms and West for those who saw both of them.
And now both teams down 1 blocker as Ruckus re-engages the pack off of turn 2. Both jammers engaging the pack off of 2. Excellent tripod walls by Canada, though. Some fancy skip work. And we have a cut track called on Ruckus. That's going to make this a power jam for Mac Daddy.
That it was. Stepped out of bounds somewhere in that scoring pass. Came back in ahead of a skater who had not been passed yet. That is cutting the track. And thank you for watching wherever you are via Twitch, including Spain, I see. So Mac Daddy, yes, recycled back. Good recycling there by number 90 Hot Wheels. joined by 212 Capozzi. Also 817 Boomerang with some support.
Number
And
90 for USA East, Hot Wheels going to the penalty box for direction as Ruckus re-enters the pack.
oh, and a big block there on Mac Daddy, and a low block it was.
That's number 9, Dragonfire.
What a jam. Skater still down for Canada, so we will take an official timeout. Medical staff always on hand for these games and all regulation roller derby games. Safety, of course, of utmost importance here. Junior skaters, 18 and under, playing here, and the 18-year-olds are eligible to join their roller derby team of their choosing, adult league.
Absolutely, and what we're seeing on the camera now, we see the Union Jack behind Team Great Britain. To the left of that, we have the Canadian flag, and slightly to the left of that, we have Team Australia. All 3 countries being represented right behind the turns 2, 3, and 4. But the jammer is back up.
Good to hear, and yeah, we're all supportive of each other. Roller derby, one of the world's fastest growing sports, and the finest representatives of roller derby from each of these nations and, in cases, continents, or you can be a nation and a continent for one of them, and leave that to your social studies teacher to point that out.
Well, you'll need a math teacher for the Team USA East lineup as Sugar Cookies takes the line, down 2 blockers. Wolfblade Jr. taking the line for Canada. Blocker advantage definitely in Canada's favor as they line up at the jammer line.
Yes, and 5 points scored in the last jam to 2 for Canada. Net 3 for USA East, 14-6, 25-50 to go in the period. We are playing full 60-minute games today, and the winner of, let's see, USA East, we have the bracket in front of us, versus Canada. The winner of this game will go to the championship game to meet USA West, and that will be this evening right here on Twitch. We also have a matchup for fifth place rather. That will be Europe versus Great Britain. That has been set.
Absolutely, and we will be seeing Australia just before that. Right now.
Yeah, they'll meet the runner-up from this game.
Yes, thank you.
Those are the place games. 5th place, 3rd place, and 1st place to be played in that order.
And for those just joining us, I want to remind everyone listening out there, the round robin was a huge day yesterday, not only for the staff and the amazing technicians that we have here, but also for the skaters skating up to 5 games. Not in a row, but still 5 games in one day definitely wears you down. It certainly did me.
That's a lot of derby to watch, and it was just nonstop action as there is an open track here at the Sportsplex, warm-ups taking place there, so skaters coming in, and sometimes fewer than 5 minutes between those periods.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we have a top-notch NSO staff as well as our skating refs keeping us informed not only on the lineups, but also going back to back to back, skating, making sure all the penalties are being caught. And it's just been great. And we have a question from Comic Slams. Has anyone seen any great names on track? Yes, almost every name has been pretty great. One of my personal favorites is number 789. Whose derby name is 7skate9, which has been a personal favorite of mine.
Number 9 is being escorted out by Coach Bill. That is number 9 for USA East, Dragonfire. Apparently something going on in the previous jam which warranted an expulsion.
And we have one of the refs going up to the announcer's booth. We may get some information.
Pretty much.
Our ref announcing the call, but unfortunately, we can't really hear it too well. But as you said, Dragonfire being escorted off the track, and we'll let you know if anything about that if we find out.
There is another skater in the penalty box who served that time, and other than that, the box is empty, and we'll be back to live action as soon as possible here. Want to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's crossed, and
the lowercase j's dotted as well.
That's true.
Let's not forget those. In the meantime, Sugar Cookies still out there going up against Wolfblade Jr. for Canada, getting your lead jam.
Nicely done. Staying upright and in bounds, as is the definition of a lead jam call.
Number 90 for USA coming back in.
We're joined by a former USA coach on Twitch who says that was likely an egregious low block. I would tend to agree based on what we saw up here. So thank you for that. And 4 points for Canada.
And currently tied for leads, 2-2. Canada against USA East, only in our fourth jam, but some impressive roller derby we've seen so far.
Yes, it is. 25 minutes to go in the period, 3-point game.
And we have Smacklemore taking the line for Team Canada, going up against Princess Leia.
Again, strictly defense right now, and the drawback there on the USA East jammer, it is a cut. However, on that was an East blocker. Lead jam, 815 Smacklemore, Canada.
And that cut track we saw was on 101 for East, Ari Cantrell.
Scoring pass in the midst and calling it from the floor. Stayed in bounds, and points, let's see.
It looks like 4 points for Team Canada on the board.
That it is, lead change. And you hear the Canadian contingents on the far side of the track.
We have a question coming in from our stream chat. What's your favorite name? I'm going to agree with Cherry. Smacklemore is a personal favorite just because I know we have a Smacklemore in the here in the United States, and it makes me happy to see two skaters from different countries with the same name. What am I missing, standby?
Well, Wolfblade Jr. is the jammer for Canada. However, lead jam Road Rage for USA East. First one in a couple jams.
USA sending another blocker to the penalty box, number 817 Boomerang, standing in the penalty box. 4 points on the board for USA East.
Correct. That will affect the next jam, as when skaters go to the penalty box, the time pauses for them. 30 seconds to be served, and that is 30 seconds of gameplay.
And Team USA East down 2 blockers again, and Wolfblade Jr. had a 2-blocker wall the last time. As Smacklemore takes the line for Canada, going up against Bonnet.
It should be a good matchup. However, USA East missing 2 blockers, and the result is a lead jam, Smacklemore, Team Canada. USA East maintaining 2 blockers in the box, 731 Enigma standing, and that's a scoring pass, and again calling it from the floor. Fighting for every point, and yes, every point counting in a game as close as this, as Canada regains the lead with that 4-point pass.
And that looks like Wolfblade Jr. taking the line for Canada, going up against 248. That's Ruckus. A little jammer hug before the jam gets started. These games have been getting extra intense, but it's nice to see sportsmanship is alive in all countries.
Oh yeah, everybody getting to know each other throughout the weekend, and lead jam it is for 248. That is Ruckus, but it's a race, and you see the result. Jammers able to engage each other anywhere on the track, and it is Wolfblade Jr. coming out the better of it. However, the jam is called.
But how about that? Wolf Blade Jr. taking out Team USA East Jammer in jammer on jammer engagement just off of turn 3. That is something I haven't seen yet today.
Not to that extent, absolutely not. And while we have a second
official timeout being called.
And another thank you and a salute to WFTDA.TV and our friends with Blaze Streaming Media, all the staff. This is a 2-camera shoot you see in this game. A wonderful upgrade whenever technically feasible, and we're bringing it to you from the best angle in the house. You have one of the best seats. It's not rocking as much as what it is here at the Sportsplex, but man, oh man, I'm so glad you found us right here on Twitch.
And right now we're seeing Team Canada supporters chanting A team, A team. A nice little tip of the hat to the word that references Canada.
That's right. I myself picked up a fanny pack, the A team, EH.
I got a pin myself. Leads are tied again, 4 leads to 4 leads as we get into Jam 8. Just back and forth with these two. Canada with a 1-point spread. An excellent time for them to call the timeout, though, as Canada bringing their A game to the track. Just getting East refocused. And right now we have Wolfblade Jr. out there for Canada going up against Road Rage for Team USA East.
Right. Teams allowed 3 timeouts, 1 official review, and the official review 1 per half. That can also be used as an extra timeout. And on the inside, lead jam is Road Rage. But another race we have, and it's a quarter of a lap.
Ari Cantrell going to the box for direction.
No, she isn't.
Oh. That was overturned, but for a moment it was an army of one and is an army of one.
So when that happens, yeah, the skater kind of loses position, then has to go back, but at least they're not sitting out. And in the straightaway it was, and both skaters through. Jam continues. Why not? 8 points scored by both.
And for a moment there, Hot Wheels for USA East with a full penalty box for USA. Army of one was Hot Wheels for a moment, but now rejoined with a couple more blockers as another pass by Wolfblade Jr., putting 4 on the board.
And that is a 4-point lead in this jam. If the jam were to end now, however, it is not over as Road Rage collects 4 points, potentially. We'll wait on the count. And 12-12, this jam was a wash. But boy, wasn't it.
Does get the 1-point lead, and we are excited here at the announcer booth.
Boy, wasn't it fun to watch.
It is, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Fan asking about Floppy Joe. Floppy Joe is not rostered for this game.
All right, and for Team Canada, we have Smacklemore going up against Ruckus for East.
Both jammers on the second attempt. And through is lead jammer Canada Smacklemore.
And Team Canada's crowd going nuts off of turn 3. Very exciting game for everyone watching.
That it is. As the winner goes to the championship game, the call-off, what is the point call? 2 points. 2 points it is. The jam is not over until that 4th whistle blast. You hear 4 whistles, and the jam is not over until the 4th one. And when a jammer passes an opposing skater's hips, that is the legal definition of a point.
And with Canada shutting down USA East with 2 points on the board, right now we have Wolfblade Jr. going up against Sugar Cookies. And I'll double check while you call with our producer Gretchen. I think that may be the first time Canada has shut down to USA East while scoring points.
Right, as far as the spread goes, that is possible. Again, strictly defense this time. You see one Canada blocker bridging, that is to keep everyone legal, so one part of the pack does not stray from the other part. And
And it looks like Wolfblade Jr.'s lost a toe stop. That's going to make it difficult to get through this strong four-person wall.
Canada losing 2 blockers, and lead jam it is for Sugar Cookies.
And I'm being told by our producer, Gretchen, that that's the second time in the last jam that Canada shut out Team USA.
Wow, and it's showing in the score of this tight game. However, 5 points scored by Sugar Cookies, 1 for each opposing blocker. And the jammer, which is in the penalty box, and Canada in penalty trouble as 2 blockers, 1 blocker standing. There are 4 skaters in the box. Lone Canada skater up front, which was pushed aside for another scoring pass by Sugar Cookies.
An amazing jam by Sugar Cookies for USA East, getting USA back on track with 40 points, 7-point difference. And now USA East has returned the favor by shutting out Canada. Still 17 minutes left in this half. 10
big points as far as the overall score goes. 40-33, 17 minutes to go in the period.
And we have 28 taking the line. That's Bonnet for USA East. Dragon Blade Jr. still in the box. So this will be a power start, which has taken to beautiful effect.
Right, and there it's showing the lack of skaters on the track for Team Canada. Jammer standing, and through Bonnet is for 5 points. And again, as each new scoring pass has begun, you automatically score points on the skaters who are not on the track. That makes 10. Wolfblade Jr. picking up where Wolfblade left off, and it was with a trick cut.
USA East enjoying another power jam while Wolfblade Jr. goes back to the penalty box. And this isn't like yesterday where we only had one 30-minute game. We have 2 30-minute halves here on Twitch TV.
That's right. This is going to be a marathon. This is not going to be a sprint. This is not unlike a famous taste test a couple of decades ago where the sweeter drink was picked by an overwhelming majority because all you got was a sip. However, the not-so-sweet drink was best when you tested a full serving. See?
So see what you did there.
It's similar to that. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Currently 60-33. That is the widest gap we have had so far, thanks to that 20-point jam. But, again, 15 minutes in this period to go and another 30 after that.
A timeout being called by Team Canada as Road Rage takes the line for Team USA East. Wolfblade Jr. still in the penalty box. And yesterday, as you said, we had only 1 timeout, 1 official review, but it was also 4 penalties and you're out.
Right.
Whereas we're back to normal gameplay today, and we're seeing a lot of blockers and jammers going to the penalty box, and we saw that affect a lot of games on Champs last weekend. And again, panning to Team USA as they watch as we go back to the game. Bobby Narco on the track, getting both sides excited. Team USA East in the stands and on turn 1 and 2, while the world is on team 3 and 4. And for those watching, Floppy Joe is not playing in this game today. Floppy Joe is out.
Second fan of Floppy Joe, who no doubt watching from somewhere, if not the sidelines. I do not see him. Wolfblade Jr. versus Road Rage now. We saw Floppy Joe a few tournaments ago, 2 of us, and one of these standouts definitely in that championship game.
Absolutely. Wolfblade Jr. standing out of the penalty box and engaging just off of turn 2. And we have a forearm called on one of Canada's blockers, and a USA blocker going to the penalty box as well.
Road Rage with lead and on a scoring pass, and you saw that block. That'll knock back Wolfblade Jr. Careful not to cut track and make those jammer mistakes, which is the biggest mistake you can make as a jammer, really. Ari Cantrell headed to the penalty box with a
I didn't
with
quite
with
catch
with
the
a
penalty.
look of perplexion. Apparently, she didn't catch it either. But yeah, that's when you're called. Leave. You can't question it. No use wasting that time because the time does not start in the penalty box until you are actually seated in the chair.
Absolutely. And who do we have coming up after this game? Because we've got some exciting derby today. Stand by.
Right you are. The next game should be the 5th place game. That should be Europe versus Great Britain. Again, the winner of this game goes to the championship game to meet USA West. The runner-up will face Australia in the 3rd place game.
An official timeout. An excellent time for Canada to get some of the momentum back. As number 56 for Canada takes the line, Mac Daddy, going up against 248 for East, Ruckus.
15 points unanswered for USA East. That does widen the gap 75 to 33, but as far as roller derby goes, especially in the 60-minute game, that's just a couple power jams. So once again, tight competition, and I love the atmosphere here in the Sportsplex. Everyone's showing their support, everyone positive, and just the highest quality derby you could ask for, worldwide derby, the best roller derby skaters in Canada, junior skaters, and the best ones from the eastern portion of the U.S.
And I'm being told by our producer, Gretchen, we saw earlier Mac Daddy taking the jammer line. It's great to see Mac Daddy back after having to leave the game earlier. And as we said earlier, road rage was taken out over the weekend, so it's great to see these athletes not only healthy but willing and able to compete.
Right, and for everyone, it's a game of endurance. And especially the longer a tournament goes, or the longer a multi-game event goes, or in our case, as I said, two world-class events, 2 events that bring together the best in junior roller derby as only the Junior Roller Derby Association can, in conjunction here with the broadcast with WFTDA.TV. Again, thank you for joining us wherever you are worldwide for this exhibition of awesomeness.
Right you are, Heroin.
I see that. I see that.
Yes, B.O.B. letting us know that junior refers to their age, not their skill.
Oh, and yeah. Some of these skaters can show up the adults, like right now.
And there may be, the official review may be an expulsion of Enigma. That's number 731 for Team USA East. We're not 100% sure, but that's what we're getting at the moment. We'll know soon enough.
We have eyes and ears everywhere, just like a referee staff, but we can't make the calls. We can only relay the calls.
That's right. We don't make the calls. We just report them. But as far as making the calls, these referees have been doing a great job for us all week long. Some of them.
You've reffed before, so you have that insight.
I do. It's a very physical and demanding job. When I first started off, roller derby was a much different. It was a simpler time back then. We didn't have tomahawk stops, and we didn't have super fast gameplay. One could just leisurely skate on the outside and see the penalties as they came. Now you have to be basically a jam skater just to keep up, especially when you're at this level of roller derby. So not only is it physically demanding, but mentally as well, catching all these penalties as they can.
Enigma is sitting in the penalty box, and 2 jammers on the track, and you see they go for the same opening. That's not going to work out. Outside open, however, once again, defensive pack as still anyone's jam, and this time it is Team USA East bridging. Multiplayer block called, and that frees the lead jammer for USA East. Now on a scoring pass. And you see the effect there. You have to stick the landing inside.
And it looks like a low block called against Team USA East. That's going to make this a power jam for Mac Daddy.
Right you are. Also, when you take the air, anything that happens in the air, that's illegal contact, that's all on you. It's a risk you take in order to save those steps, save those strides in that apex.
And as an update, Enigma rejoining the pack, so clearly there wasn't an expulsion, but this is a usual 7 get penalties as
Correct.
opposed to 4 yesterday. The 4 penalties is what we were watching yesterday, whereas today it's the normal 7, and Mac Daddy putting 5 on the board.
First 5 points on the board for Canada in this jam, 38 seconds to go. And the jam will go the full 2-minute time limit since the lead jammer was called out on a penalty. You lose that status. And picking up where the jammer left off for 4 points. You pick up where you left off when you return back from the penalty box.
And
Dropped
speaking
again.
of the penalty box, Gilman for USA East coming back into play behind Canada's jammer, still stuck behind turn 1.
And salute to Ruthless on the defense so far, especially in this jam.
And a tip of the hat to Team Canada with a strong 4-person wall holding up USA's jammer.
What an exhausting 2-minute jam. Currently, the count is 8-6, net 2 for Canada, and that's the important part, as Canada wants to continue pacing up and not necessarily having tie jams. 8-6, 81-41, 11 and a half to go when we pick up again.
All right, and for red, we have 8:15. That's Macklemore going up against Princess Leia for USA East. And for the question asked, Enigma, I believe, plays for Des Moines, if I remember correctly.
Correct you are. Right you are.
Yay, I enjoy it when I remember things with you. Stand by.
So much to remember in this game and so much to see as
And a high block being called up against Macklemore. Princess Leia going to call it to get the power start.
That's right. That is a power start. The time pauses, so that will be basically 30 seconds to get off the line, early jam, and score before that jammer can come out and even begin the initial pass.
And with players on Team USA East, 30 seconds is a long time. As number 28, Bonnet, takes the line for USA East. And this will be his power start, as we said.
And you see the result of the power start and the offense and defense happening at the same time. However, Canada down 1 blocker. That blocker is standing. Tiptoes does have to correct. And bowling over 99, however, that was a forearm call.
Right you are, a forearm. That's going to release Macklemore from the penalty box, and she was standing when the jammer went in, so we could see a 30-second power jam for Macklemore.
That's right, somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds. When someone stands in the penalty box, that means they have fewer than 10 seconds to serve. That's a cue to everyone, and you must stand. You cannot use that portion of the penalty time for strategery.
Through the initial pass, and looking at our stream chat, you're welcome by Corp. And
I know that person. Anyway, both jammers back into play, and out is Bonnet.
5 points on the board.
Macklemore continuing to push in the currently mixed pack, and a swing and a miss there, but and applaud the attempt by 171 Gilman.
Excellent jammer on jammer engagement just off of turn 1 as Macklemore goes down. Bonnet re-engaged in the pack.
That's about my favorite part of the game, when the jammers notice each other, and not only is it a race, but it is also a race with contact.
Absolutely, and that hit was given by Enigma.
And Macklemore dropped again, and I have a nope.
Yep, she is getting up. Okay, and getting up on her own steam.
That's right. Judgment call on the part of the referees when a skater is down. If they're down too long, they will call off the jam for safety, especially in the junior game. 18-7.
So while we have this quick moment, yes, an official review is being called. Canada's coach out there. But while we have this second, I want to remind everyone to just take a deep breath. I know we've been super excited for this game.
How can you not be?
Exactly, and I apologize if we made anyone else super excited, but let's also keep...
No, you're not. I'm not apologizing.
No, I'm not. I'm not apologizing for getting them excited. I just want to make sure that everyone doesn't start... let's keep in mind, these refs have had a long weekend, and as you said earlier, I did ref. You can't see everything, and we fortunately, thanks to the amazing technical crew here at World Cup in Philadelphia, we're able to see things that other refs aren't. So if calls are being seen but they're not being called, there's no way unless we have an entire NFL staff on site to catch everything with people officially reviewing. So we just want to make sure that that's being said.
Yeah, you fans watching, yes, I have seen the last couple days some penalties being called in the Twitch chat. However, you are not wearing the striped shirts and you are not here. But that's fine. It's like any other sport. You
get heated.
You think you saw what you saw. However, it doesn't matter what you saw because the referees that are assigned to this game are doing an awesome job all weekend long.
Absolutely.
In my personal and professional opinion.
And in my opinion, let's also keep in mind that we didn't just show up off of the streets. Everyone that's here, from the staff, the announcing staff, and the refs, had to fill out a resume to show that not only do you know what you're doing, but you deserve to be here.
And you have done it.
Absolutely. And our referees, just to give them a shout out, are Harley Quinn Davidson, Ref in Peace, Ref Metal, Guinness, Strapping Young Beard, Captain Jack Spare Her, Mr. Danger, and Damon Mistress.
And as Crashity Jade is in the penalty box for Team Canada and the officials confer, the officials, Stat in the Hat, Pinky in the Brawn, D. Baggins, Mea Culprit, David Reed, Barney Trouble, Guacamole, and Barian's Havoc.
As far as the results, WFTDA will be posting those later. Just keep watching the stream, and the information will be done. And thank you to our moderator on the chat for keeping everyone informed, answering the questions that we haven't been able to get to.
In this bracket play, we had Australia over Europe, then Canada over Great Britain. USA West and USA East earned a bye due to their performance yesterday.
And what a game that was. One of the first games I've seen that didn't go over 100 points in two halves.
One of those defensive style games like we saw at JRDA Champs, especially on the female track.
Yes, what a joy that was to call. I got to do that call here on the stream, and Scott Chicken from Seattle got to do the house, so it was definitely a repeat of JRDA Champs in Loveland, Colorado last year for 2017.
And thank you, Sweet Justice. Glad to give all these referees a shout out because we're not making a living doing this. We're actually spending our living doing this, and we love it. Back to live action with Bonnet and Houdini. And what's the word on the official review?
The word on the official review is Canada called for a back block on Bonnet for Team USA East. After the review, the officials retain the review for Canada. So Bonnet sitting in the penalty box at the start of this jam.
And there we go. Bonnet standing as 516 Houdini currently on lockdown and almost engulfed by the USA East from my vantage point. Through on the caught. And Drawn back there, I believe that is 65 for Team Canada. Teja Vu, the captain.
I think that may be Houdini, but we'll know more. But we have a cut track on Bonnet going back to the penalty box.
And Houdini has already scored 5 points now on another scoring pass. 1 minute to go in the jam. Houdini is lead and can control that.
And already putting 5 points on the board with under a minute left in the jam, or shorter should she choose.
And a sandwich attempt there by USA East, calling off the jam to ice the jammer. Jammer standing, so it'll be fewer than 10 seconds to earn lead jam or attempt to earn lead jam on the next jam. 8 points scored plus on the last pass, looks like 3 more. Or was that 5 plus 3 makes 8? Either way, currently 8 points. 104-56 as Canada looks to bridge the gap. 6.5 minutes to go in the period. We will play another full 30 minutes after that.
All right, and taking the line for Canada is number 56, Mac Daddy, going up against 28, Bonnet, still standing in the penalty box and now released. And to answer your question, we will know as soon as you do on USA East game next once this game has concluded.
That's right, because the winner goes to the championship game. The runner-up will play for third. So it's the game has to be played before it gets scheduled.
And a cut track called on Canada's jammer, Mac Daddy. This makes it another power jam, this time in Team USA's favor.
And Bonnet through the pack and scoring, now scoring pass and a little bit of offense being run in the way of knocking a defense out, goading as the skaters call it, keeping one blocker away. That way when the pack breaks up, it will be on the front part of the pack, and you saw one blocker headed to the box. Both jammers back into play.
And an interesting fact being fed to us through the stream, Teja Vu, Mac Daddy, and Kryptonite are triplets.
That has to be the first group of triplets I know of in roller derby, but I have been told that, forgot that fact exactly who was who out there, but
like I've heard of roller derby families such as the Glissons for Team Jacksonville, Jeff skating for the Misfits, Jem skating for Jacksonville, and Olivia skating for the juniors, but I've never heard of triplets taking the track together.
I wonder if they can communicate without talking to each other.
They do. They just probably have their own language.
I mean anyway.
Well, telepathic.
The ESP part. 15 points scored in the last jam for USA East is the key.
Smacklemore taking the lead for Canada, going up against Road Rage for USA.
And Road Rage spins. Whoa, wait a minute.
Road Rage gets the lead jam. No, Road Rage loses lead jam, getting a track cut. That gives the Team Canada the lead jam.
Right, that track cut happened before the lead jam call, apparently. And dropped there.
That's Boomerang for Team USA East, holding up Canada's jammer just off the jammer line as Canada sends their pivot to the penalty box. Canada with a full penalty box, but jammer is standing for USA East as Road Rage readies to engage the pack.
And when the inside completes the initial pass, however, jam called in plenty of time, and little exhaustion showed by Smacklemore has had a couple rough jams this game. 5 points scored nonetheless, 119-61, under 3 minutes to go in the period.
And when apparently we have another set of triplets that play roller derby, thanks to Sonia, Iron Maiden, Katniss Evermean, and Hillary Clinton for IJRD. Right now we have 51-50 for red taking the line. Houdini going up against Sugar Cookies for East.
And I believe the I standing for Indiana there, if my memory serves.
It does. That is from Indiana Roller Derby.
And Lead Jam Sugar Cookies. As Kryptonite returns to play, penalty box is clear.
I'm going to have to agree. I think Hillary Clinton is one of my new favorite names, but there are so many in roller derby, it's hard to pick one over the other.
And while talking politics, yes, shout out again to Barack Obama, who we talked about earlier with the health issues, and hope that you are listening and enjoying what you are seeing here from the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. 9 points scored thus far from USA East.
Excellent work as Sugar Cookies re-engages the pack just off of turn 3. A side swipe, but gets through, putting 5 on the board for USA East.
14 big points and widening that gap.
And it looks like we have a skater down, but it looks like an equipment malfunction, not an injury.
That happens, and happens rather quickly, as if something's wrong with your skate, you find out
really quickly.
Yeah, and it's a surprise to you as much as it is anybody else. It is not Ghost Blocker for a change. It is actually a problem with the equipment. I've seen trucks broken off.
Yes, we have seen a truck broken off. The axle with the wheel still attached has fallen off. I've had a number of toe stops fall off.
Toe stops are the big one.
Yeah.
18 points scored by USA East in the last jam to set us up for what could be the final jam of the period.
And Red 56 taking the line, going up against 248 for USA East. That's Ruckus going up against Mac Daddy.
Someone saying they saw a wheel spin off the skate. That's nuts.
Although if you're sitting in the danger zone seating, as we've seen on the lines, I kind of feel like if the wheel skates off and you catch it, it should be like baseball. If you caught it and it's outside the play, you should get to keep it. But that would start to mess up things a wee bit.
I'll say Mac Daddy, lead jammer. However, it is a jammer race, and through actually scoring is Ruckus. Jam called.
Yes, that's 4 points for USA East to 3 Canada.
Okay, calculated risk on behalf of Canada there to earn lead jam, keep the jam going, score those points. Ruckus scored 4, so net 1 for USA East to end the half. What a game, 141-64. You can't ask for anything better, but of course we will have 3 more games after this. Get
Absolutely.
a drink, get a snack, get whatever you're getting, and join us right here on Twitch. We'll be back before you know it, especially around the end of that halftime. My name is Standby.
And I'm Tool Time.
And you're watching the Junior Roller Derby World Cup live on Twitch. Welcome back. We told you not to go anywhere, and look what we have. A special guest right here as USA East looking to build on their lead and knock off Team Canada. Current score 141-64. Pacing is going to tell the story as Canada has had some moments of brilliance. However, again, USA East with a number of high-scoring jams, especially later in the half. Tool time.
And we're joined by an alum of Team USA East, Mad Dog Murphy, who played in the last one. What have you been seeing out here? And just kind of give us a perspective of what it's like to be at World Cup.
It's awesome. You get to see all the hits they do, and you get to see what perspective on other teams have on roller derby at World Cup, and that is like awesome to see.
And if I remember right, the last time you spent a lot of time with the other teams around, and apparently Team Australia gave you some Vegemite as well.
Yeah, they did right before a game. I didn't like it.
Did it stay in the mouth guard?
Yeah, I tasted it the whole game.
That's called psychological warfare. And it's been a great game, like Team USA East doing a great job. Canada holding them for a good while. USA getting a bit ahead, but I'm not counting out Team Canada just yet as the second half begins.
Right. The volatile nature of roller derby, and especially, well, there have been high-scoring jams on both sides, 20 points. 18, 19 points. So anything can happen, and possibly will, as the winner of this game will go to the championship game, and the runner-up will meet Australia in the third-place game. Now, the fifth-place game already set. That is Europe and Great Britain. That will come up following this game, and then we'll work up from there.
So where was World Cup held last time, Mad Dog?
Seattle, Washington.
And how much fun was that? You said it was exciting on the track, but how much fun was it to go to Seattle?
I didn't really see much of Seattle because I was wanting to watch all the games, but even in like the actual venue, it was really fun because like we hung out with like the Australia a lot, and they would like litter bomb us if they were like liked us a lot. So that was really fun.
Well, we've had Ironstein on the house call. I got to do one with her, and I don't know if anyone on the stream has noticed, but I wear a Rocco's Modern Life lanyard to differentiate mine from everyone else's. And I thought it was a wallaby, but apparently it's a wallabear. And she was just like, wallabear. Wallaby? Wallabear. And I'm just like, you're saying wallaby.
It's Wallabear.
And these are the fun things that I learn here at World Cup. Right now, we have the Jammers taking the line as halftime comes to an end. Who have we got standby?
2:06 for blue and 5:6 for red.
Now, are there any familiar faces on Team USA East from the last World Cup you were at?
Tiny, yes. Haley Davinsky is, and Capozzi. They were both on Team USA East with me.
Okay.
2:06 for USA East. That is Road Rage. And number 56 for Canada is Mac Daddy, two of the more prolific jammers in this tournament.
Team USA down one blocker at the start as Team Canada gets your lead jam.
And Canada again looking to build on what they started in the first half, as a highly competitive first half, especially that first 20 minutes or so. Number 62 looking for a track cut. That is Hernandez, however, was not part of the legal pack, and through Mac Daddy is for 5 points.
And on the stream chat, we have a couple of people happy to see Murph on the call with us. One of them is Coach Dan. Nice to hear your voice on the feed, Murph.
Hello.
Yeah, Coach Dan, I believe, was your coach at that World Cup or at one of those events in the past.
Yes. He was one of our coaches for Team USA East.
Some of roller derby's biggest fans are roller derby people, so we thank you for joining us wherever you are on Twitch. Mac Daddy scoring, and that is another complete scoring pass, and that makes 15.
Boomerang standing in the penalty box, about to re-engage as the jammer engages off of turn 3, brought back by 2:06.
And
Boomerang powering through up turn 4, completes the initial pass as Canada re-engages.
Correct, Boomerang is eligible to score here. Mac Daddy letting the jam roll just a bit too long. 4 points to 2 on that last pass. But it is, nonetheless, 19-2, net 17 for Canada, and that's the pacing I'm talking about.
So the first time that Canada outscoring USA on the first jam, maybe it's that little dance number and little ceremony they have before each game where they sing a song and do a dance through a circle. Right now we have Bonnet taking the line for Team USA East.
Oh, Matrix. But
That was amazing footwork.
Sarah Seidel taking the jammer cover for Canada. I think that's the first time I've seen her out there with the star cover this game.
And it is a lead jam call for Bonnet. Just took a moment to confirm. And already on a scoring pass, completed scoring pass, a 5-point scoring pass.
Canada's pivot trying to get back as Team USA holds up the jammer, trying to break up the wall. Some fancy footwork just off a 3, but gets recycled by 22.
And through on the outside is Bonnet to build on the 10 points already, so that makes 15. So that one-on-one grinding defense with the toe stops, what can you do as a jammer to
get past it?
Right.
Because when it's one-on-one, it's usually like reverse blocking, so they know exactly where you're going to go. How do you as a jammer get past that?
So it's kind of like a mirror. It depends. Like, I am tall, so if they're taller than me, then I try to get lower and juke them. But if they are like shorter than me, then I get lower than them. And so then that's like they have to take longer, and then I just go around and juke. So basically just juking.
Okay. Well, I've seen a number of jammers when they're about to be individually blocked do a little shimmy shoulder shake.
Yeah.
Is that to just kind of throw them off so they don't know which side you're going to?
Yeah. So like we try not to move our legs, and we'll move our arms so they look at our arms and get confused on where we're going.
Okay. And now I've learned something.
35 big points for USA East. More than answering that 19-point salvo to start the period, as we stand at 178-83.
So when was the last time you played at World Cup? Did you get to play Team Canada, and if so, how did that go?
I did not get to. We played them once, I believe, and I was not rostered for that one, no. But it did go amazing, and it was fun. Like, that was the first time we ever got to play like an international team, so that was really cool seeing how they play and how we play and how we played together. So that was pretty cool watching it instead of actually being in it.
Awesome. What do we have? Stand by.
Lee Jam Sugar Cookies over Wolfblade Jr., who has been set upon by number 90 Hot Wheels, and the pivot also 101 Ari Cantrell.
Direction of play going against Canada's blocker, Captain Kaja Vu.
And 9 points, just 9 points. And Jam called. 24 and a half minutes to go in the period, 187-83.
Looks like Princess Leia taking the line, going up against Macklemore. Team Canada down one blocker.
Another one of those defensive formations, and Lee Jam USA East once again.
Excellent tripod being brought up. Stays on the inside, stays in on the outside line, hitting another 5 points on the board.
And the pivot working quite well. Haley Dubinsky. Jammer down on the track in the midst of the skaters, however, does recover, and the jam continues.
And while you're in the middle of a pack, especially when both teams are joined up on you, if you fall down, you got to fall small. Otherwise, you'll incur a penalty, or worse, you'll have a skate wheel running over your fingers, which is a big owie.
It really hurts.
Macklemore completes the initial pass, however, Jam called. And immediately at that, an even 200 points, 15 points scored by USA East on a tear here, as I'll do the math momentarily.
And quick question, Murph. We've seen a couple of penalties on both sides. We don't have numbers just now, but when you're playing this kind of level of competition, how does the penalties affect you coming the second half? Because we saw Jacksonville have a couple of foul outs in one of their games during champs.
Yes. It depends on how hard the game is. If it gets harder and harder, I think people tend to do more penalties because they're playing rougher. Mm-hmm. And with the female division, I think they watch closely for that.
Yeah.
And so when we played World Cup, it was a lot better. We played with guys, and so they were kind of lenient on that. But at the same time, I get a lot of forearms, so I would get penalties for that all the time. And it's just we get a lot of penalties, but then we kind of slow them down at the second half.
We have a skater down just off turn 2.
That's right, just a little too slow to recover, so we'll be checked out. Let's see, medical staff. No, up. Okay.
And they're up.
And 5 points scored in that. So 5 jams, 62-point 5-jam rally by USA East. Three more. That's a 65-point rally by USA East in this period.
And it looks like we have Sarah Seidel taking the line for Team Canada going up against Road Rage. Now, Road Rage being part of Team Florida, you've had to jam against him a couple of times.
Yeah.
What's it like? Because it looks insane from our perspective.
He kind of reminds me of like a fish out of water because he moves very quickly and like very like scrambly, but at the same time he knows where his feet are like all the time, and so that's like helps him out a lot. But being as a blocker, like I would probably not go chest to chest because he's just so quick on how he is. So we usually put our back to him so he doesn't know what to do that much, but he does great though.
Absolutely, and he's been doing some great work today. Enigma with the forearm penalty going to the penalty box. Team USA down 2 blockers as the jammers engaged off of turn 1.
And USA East 5 points already on the board in this jam. 2-2-2, Sarah Seidel.
Road Rage going on the outside.
Yeah. And 22 for USA East, Connor ready for the opposing jammer, and 2-1-2 there with some one-on-one defense. Capozzi once again.
And an excellent point brought up by Danny Ritz. When you have games like this, you want to save your players for later on in the game, especially since we'll be seeing them later today here on Twitch.tv. We saw a lot of that in the round robin yesterday, but touching on what you said, you as a jammer, when you get high up in the penalties, we see a lot of rotating. What's the purpose of that?
So if you get like 5-6 penalties, a lot of times the coaches will have you sit for when they do really need you, so you don't foul out in like a jam that's not really necessary to have like so many people on there that are like tall and big and everything. And so like we try not to foul people out because then it's also really bad for our team to like have people foul out. So we try to like save it until like really needed.
Yeah, because you're as adequate a blocker as you are a jammer, so they can keep you on as a blocker without where you don't get as many penalties as a jammer, and then if they really need you as a jammer, then you can come in. It's as a calculated risk.
Yeah, a lot of times for me, I get more penalties when I'm blocking, so they'll have me jam until I actually get a penalty jamming, and then I'll switch off so I don't get too many penalties.
A Team Canada skater being tended to currently. Road Rage called for a penalty at the end of the jam after scoring 24 points. And again, Canada held scoreless in 6 jams of this period as the score at halftime, 141. And do the math there, where USA East going on 90-some points. Just coming out on a tear. But again, Road Rage sitting in the penalty box, so it will be a power start for Canada when we pick up again.
And Team Canada surrounding Bloody L just in front of the benches. I see a lot of, just with what I was touching on earlier, they have this little ceremony where they sing and dance around a circle, and they have the skaters do a little dance going through the circle. And that's a really great way not only to keep the nerves calm for your skaters, but also a great way because they have to come up with a different dance each time to just kind of get the creativity flowing. And if I remember right, the Dolls have a way of pumping themselves up and cooling themselves down. What were those when you were skating with the juniors, Murph?
One of our coaches, Coach Jeff, he has a personal handshake for every single one of us. And right before a game, we'll do it and like very dramatically so everyone notices. And he does it with every single one of us. And then we get in our pack and like we hype ourselves up like that.
Good.
And dance.
Well, we have an official review called by Canada. Canada calling one in the first half and winning that review for a back block. They got to retain that review. But just for those watching, Bloody L is back up, being checked out by the medics off track, but getting up on her own power.
And with Road Rage being sent to the box for it appears to be blocking with the head. Thank you, Coach Dan. I momentarily forgot your name. I am sorry, Coach Dan. But with that, yes, now a conversation starting about some of the common penalties being accrued by some of the skaters who are watching us on the Twitch feed.
Absolutely, and we want to keep those comments coming. And if there's anyone who's happy to hear Mad Dog Murphy on the stream with us, definitely show her some love as we read these off and continue the last 20 or so minutes of the second half of Team USA East versus Team Canada. But going back, whenever the Dolls take a timeout, you all gather in a circle and do what is that thing you do especially when it's an intense game? It's like some sort of I guess shimmy is the only way I can describe it.
I think we call it jellyfish, and we put our hands up in the air, and then we like wiggle our bodies where our hands go all the way down to our feet, and then we do that like 3 times to get all the nerves out.
Okay, and we've seen a lot of that. Was it the same when you went to World Cup last? Or were you too busy watching Derby to pay attention? It's okay.
It's kind of like that. More or less, we kind of stomped our feet a lot more with the Southeast, not Southeast Under, for the Team USA East.
The official review, I'm being told in my earpiece, and we can talk about this because they cannot hear us out on the track, but the official review, by what I'm told, Canada looking for an insubordination on road rage because he was called on the penalty in turn 3 but did not go to the penalty box until turn 4.
And Harley Quinn Davidson taking the house mic for the official review. We should have that later. To answer your question, Moonlit Raven, yes, Dragonfly is on the track for number 9, or at least had to be escorted off in the first half. We're not sure what happened, but it looks like Kelly's getting some
I love you too,
mail.
Alex.
Aww. Oh, right.
Yeah, you're right. You're my favorite sister.
Red 815 on the power start. The official review was lost. However, this is a power start nonetheless. Road rage in the penalty box, and an effective block there. Looking for the penalty kill here, which is where they keep the jammer from breaking through for that 30 seconds. Macklemore lead jam for Team Canada, and this is their chance to put points on the board in the second period as USA East has scored all the points, in this period.
Jammer standing and release from the penalty box will re-engage just off of turn 3 as Canada's jammer tries to get through on the inside. And Road Rage engaged in the pack. An excellent block by 901, going out a little bit but still staying in play, and an excellent recycled hit on the inside of the pivot line, bringing back Road Rage.
I want to say that was Depresser. Didn't quite get the number, but I believe it was Depresser.
Well, she certainly depressed him with that block, taking him back behind turn 4.
I know that's Crashity Jade and QT up front. And now some bracing, as much as is legal. And 901 Crashity Jade called out.
And that's the jam.
A tough jam, however, 5 points on the board for Canada.
And that's one of the few shutouts we've seen Canada have over Team USA East. Canada showing they still got plenty of fight left in them. So now that you've aged out of the juniors, Mad Dog, what is it you're doing with yourself? Studying for your future, I hope.
Playing on New Jacks.
That was such a stilted, but yeah.
I'm her derby dad. I'm allowed to worry about her future, but playing for the adult A team now as Bonnet gets through with the lead jam for Team USA.
Sarah Seidel, the opposing jammer, recycled back, and a swing by 7-3-1 Enigma. Crashity Jade back in play.
Back block called number 901. That's Crashity Jade going back to the penalty box for Canada.
Sarah Seidel recycled back by 22, Connor.
Excellent point, Moonlit Raven. Canada with some excellent blocking, because as we saw yesterday, USA coming out of the gate strong, so any blocking done by them has been very impressive. Canada doing an amazing job. And just an update on Crashity Jade. She is standing behind the penalty box, so this could be a foul out.
That is the usual cue, as 7 penalties equals a foul out. And yeah, Canada is showing us a lot, and especially with the blocking, yes, with the jamming. Canada, excellent team, as what you're seeing here is the best junior roller derby skaters in their respective regions right here at the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. Canada's finest. 51-51. Speaking of Canada's finest, Houdini set to jam. 29 points scored by USA East previous. And this timeout to discuss strategy as we reach almost the 4th quarter of the game. Once again, the winner of this game will go to the championship game. That will be this evening right here on Twitch to face USA West, who previously qualified by defeating Australia. Australia will play in the 3rd place game with the runner-up of this game. That will be again for 3rd place. But prior to that, Europe, and more immediately to that, Europe will play Great Britain, and the winner of that will earn 5th place. Great Britain, Canada defeating Great Britain earlier today, and Australia defeating Europe earlier today, setting up the 5th place matchup.
Now, at the very end of the round robin we had yesterday, we had USA West and East playing, and it could be that again. Is that what, if I remember right, that's who you played against in the World Cup Championship last time? What could you tell us about that game? Because for those watching yesterday, it was pretty impressive. No team scoring over 100 points each.
It was kind of like that with ours. We didn't realize how fast they are in general, and so that got us, of course, but at the same time it was awesome playing same high level teams, and we bonded even off the track and on the track, so we all became friends. But on the track it was we knew what to do and they knew what to do, and so that was just nice, but it was very tough for both sides.
248 Ruckus already on a scoring pass, and Houdini once again the jammer for Canada just popped one of the USA East skaters, 212, who was stunned by that block. It was under 2-1-2, yeah, Kaposi. However,
it looks like 51-51. Houdini on the ground just off of turn 2. EMTs and coaches coming to check out. Definitely getting more intense the further into these games we go, and as we said, some of the players are being saved for the games later on.
Now, before this question scrolls away, we want to ask Mad Dog Murph. There's a question about any advice on how to get used to your toe stops and use them during games. I guess the key word there is using them.
Well, when I first get new toe stops, to wear them out a little bit, because it's really hard going on a rink with just brand new toe stops, because you will slide. I usually take them outside and walk on my toe stops around.
Off of them,
yeah. And then when I start practicing just walking on my toe stops, and that helps a lot with new ones, because you start getting used to how it feels just to be up on your toe stops, and so that definitely helps.
Yeah, getting the newness off of the toe stops,
yeah.
and especially the
it gives
knee
it more
pads.
grip.
Yeah, because with the knee pads, you want grip with the toe guards. I'm sorry, toe stops. Words are hard, but you want to take off a little bit of the newness off of your knee pads too. Because I myself, especially when I need to come in, I need a little bit of a slide off of there, but just enough drag. At least that's how I skate.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. But I don't like sliding on my toe stops because you're not really supposed to, so I always go outside and drag them on there, like the road or something, so the new of it comes off.
Yeah, concrete is best, though, just because it's a finer grit. But in the meantime, Canada's jammer, Houdini, off the track, standing on her own feet. A lot of dangerous moments in this game as we get more and more intense, and we'll see more of it today. But I want to go back to the last World Cup. Each of the players you've played in some capacity on their own with their own home teams, because USA East and USA West is basically, as it says, us split down the middle, and the west side of America has a completely different skating style than on the East, because we play Team Florida a lot. There's a lot more like maneuvering and recycling and things like that. But
Yes.
I saw a lot of heavy, like old school derby, a lot of heavy hitting. But now they're starting to get the strategy along with the heavy hits. And we definitely saw that playing out yesterday.
Yeah, you would see a lot of strategy, but also at the same time like big hits, but not like very dangerous, so they could still like keep playing, and then like the strategy would bringing them back and then walling up with their walls real quick. So I feel like West and East brought like both of their strategies and put like them into one.
Absolutely. And you being one of the founding members of Jacksonville Junior Roller Derby, I was there for your very first practice, and you were a little baby giraffe.
Yes, I was.
We remember way back when games would take hours because every fall there would be a timeout, and it's mainly because it's scary when you hit the floor the first
Yes.
time. And if you recall, when you were skating a little nervous, I said, "Don't worry. The floor will always be there to catch you."
And it has been there to catch me.
And it always will be. And of course, my trademark pep talk before each game.
Can we?
Ah,
I don't know actually. No. It's a. I think it's okay.
okay, thank you. I would just something to fill in the time between the official timeout, but I would just give you guys a pep talk
Yeah.
before each game. So
It involves an inside joke, but
it does involve an inside joke. Unfortunately,
every team has their own different forms of communication
and their own
you have to keep
ceremonies.
You have to keep it lighthearted as much as possible because it's intense on the track. But if you're not having fun, then why are you doing this?
Absolutely. And to answer Sweet Justice's question, we're not sure about Houdini. They're still getting checked out by the medics, but they will be staying off for at least 3 jams just to be sure.
Right, and that is by rule if a jam is called off on your behalf.
And a cut track called on Wolf Blade Jr. That's going to release Ruckus, who's already standing. So that's a 30-second power jam for Ruckus.
And Ruckus left with one blocker up front and completes the initial pass. And we know who made that suggestion to you, Tool Time. A blocker hurdled into the infield. However, careful not to cut track on the re-entry. That is number 99, Ruthless, who would be in position to run offense. However, lots of defense happening at the same time as Wolfblade Jr. does complete a scoring pass, a 5-point scoring pass, and Ruckus is headed to the penalty box on a track cut.
Big hit just off turn 4. Skater is up and being recycled along with a couple of Canada's blockers as they re-engage behind turn 3.
Canada, yes, wise to run offense here. You see with the position at its core, this is a game of positioning, and positioning past the pack for another 5 points. And Canada's skater dropped again, but
yes, jam called, but Canada breaks the century mark with an amazing 13-point jam.
and that it was, and you hear the reaction from the far side of the track from us as the Team Canada contingent happy about what they are seeing in the remaining 13 and a half minutes of the game. 1-3 plays 2-2-2 in the jam coming up. That will be number 13 Sugar Cookies and 2-2-2 Sarah Seidel.
And to Coach Dan, we may be able to get those penalties, but let's keep in mind that the NSOs not only have to put in the information from this bout, but have to get the information from the next bout, so we may not be able to get to that.
And instruction, I believe it was, the call on number 40, Depressor, as when the referees say there is no pack, you need to go back and correct that situation. And if you don't, and if you do not immediately, you'll be called on it. Sugar Cookies through on the initial pass and 5 points. Approaching the pack, one blocker up front. There were two more. There is some recycling and a good pop out there. And now 3 blockers ready, tracking the jammer and now engulfing the jammer. As Sarah Seidel, likewise in the back with the defense from USA East, and through as Sugar Cookies on another scoring pass. Definitely one of the more defensive jams we've seen all game. Continuing to push. Foremost pack working on Sugar Cookies, who has breached the pack again for more points. Another 5-point scoring pass, that is. Canada losing a blocker, number 2, QT.
USA finding a hole on the inside, putting 5 more on the board. But stand by, could we just talk about Canada doing a great job out there against such a strong team such as USA East, still not giving up and breaking the century mark not just one jam ago.
Right, there have been, again, standout moments, great moments from Team Canada. However, the biggest moment is what happens at the end of the game with, and it is in the WFTDA rulebook, that the team with the highest score at the end of the game does win the game. The points that count. However, this is one of those games, and we've talked about this before, Tool Time. This is one of those games that if you cover up the scoreboard and just watch the game, watch the derby action, just pay attention to what's happening out there.
It's an amazing game.
Yes.
Canada's doing a really great job out there, considering they've had a couple of games to play, as well as Team USA East. But quick question to you, Murph. The last 10 minutes are when we tend to see a lot of fouls happen, as well as just a little bit of slow down derby.
And there you go, dual jammer penalties.
Macklemore about to re-enter the pack, followed by number 2, Princess Leia, as they re-engage. Oh, and Macklemore getting through the pack into the game first, and just a little friendly banter between jammers off of turn 4 as Macklemore brings her back behind turn 3, and now it's a race. Excellent time kill on that one.
Right, and that's the thing. That's what's happening there. The clock isn't going to just hang out like the like the jammer saying, "I dare you to come in and cut track." The time is still ticking away.
Cut track called. Oh my, that's going on Team USA. That's going to make this a power jam.
And with under 30 seconds to go in the jam, it will be a power start for Team Canada forthcoming. A block, and the block by the pivot, who is then blocked from recycling back. However, Haley Dubinsky, head-up play, does move back to take advantage of that block out.
And that's the jam. 5 points, 9 points for USA East on that one. And it looks like we have an official timeout from what we're seeing on here. Yes, an official timeout, which brings me back to what I was going to ask you, Murph. In the last 10 minutes, we see a lot more penalties, but we just see skaters getting tired. So how important is conditioning both on and off track, especially when you have high-level competition in the last 10 minutes of a game?
Oh, well, like the last 10 minutes of the game is where you need to like push everything you got out to make sure your team like wins and tries their best. And so like the endurance and working out on and off the track is like helps because you can just keep going and not having to be tired out, and it does help so much. And I wish more people knew that because it helps a lot.
Well, when I skated, I did a lot of work on track. I used to skate with the juniors. That time you lapped me by a lot. I eventually caught up with you, or as you like to say it, you lapped me. But I did, technically, that does count as catching up. But
Guess you can call it that.
yeah, let me at least have that. Yes. Oh, I was in World Cup and now I skate for New Jacks, and I was also on the A team of juniors. I'm an achiever of things.
It's goals. You got goals and you got to achieve them.
No word yet, and thank you for the question. No word yet about triple threat from USA East. At least not that has come up here.
But the good thing about Team US East as well as West is once the game is done, they get to check their phones and see a number of tags and messages asking, like, what happened with this? What happened there? Is such and such okay? So a lot of information coming out after the game, because how much fun is it when the parents are right behind the bench? Because we've seen that a couple of times at Derby games, and I know you have been a part of that, and your mother being one of the more vocal parents in her support.
She's going to hear this later, you know.
I love you, Audrey.
She's over there, too, smiling.
But, yeah, like how...
Like having our parents, like, around?
Yeah, like how
is
important is the support? Because we're seeing amazing support from Great Britain, Canada, and Australia. Team USA on the danger zone seating off of turn 1 and 2. How important is that support to athletes?
Well, it's really, like, it's awesome because you can always hear, like, your family screaming for you and cheering on you, and so that hypes you up and gives you more confidence. And it definitely helps when you're on a new team, like how a bunch of people got on Team USA East and West, and like you don't know all of their voices, but you know your parents, and so like it's nice that they're cheering, but you can only hear your mom or your dad or any one family because you know their voice. And so if you can't hear your own team, you can still at least hear your family cheering you on.
So pop quiz, does having me in standby at one of your bouts, is that similar? Is that kind of a security moment for you? Or
yeah.
A comforting moment, that
but
is.
A lot of times I'll like get off the track and like Gracie or one of my friends will be like, did you hear what they said? And I'm like, oh, they were talking about me.
2-2-2. Sarah Seidel jamming.
Princess Leia out there for U.S. standing in the penalty box and re-engaging right now off of turn 1.
And drawn
Big
back.
hit.
Yes, and then simultaneously drawn back by 817 Boomerang, 101 Ari Cantrell in the penalty box as down one blocker each. Jammers enter the pack, and dropped again is Princess Leia as the U.S. Slay sign comes out in the crowd. Jam called. Nobody getting anywhere quickly, and I see 3 fingers in the air. 3:08.101. Under 8 minutes to go in the game. Again, the winner of this game will meet USA West in the first place game. The runner-up will meet Australia for third.
Ari Cantrell was in World Cup with you last time, was she not?
She was in Junior Olympics with me.
Junior Olympics,
last
that's
year,
it.
yes.
Thank you for refreshing
Ari
my
and
memory.
Olivia and Elena Young.
Okay, thank you for refreshing my memory on that. As both blockers standing in the box, Canada getting released first. Cantrell standing now.
Road Rage earns lead. Jam almost blocked out, but stays in bounds.
Excellent block by Nutcase Nadia, though, from Team Canada.
And again, another spin move stays in bounds on that scoring pass. And that was illegal contact on the blocker there for Canada.
And that's Nutcase Nadia. Canada down 1 blocker as Road Rage puts another 5 points on the board.
On the Twitch feed, if you aren't watching, a couple people talking about the different levels of junior roller derby and specifically the levels of training and the rule sets of same. At first, as we said, at its core is a game of positioning, and at first you were not allowed to accelerate into a hit. You just get in someone's way and let them push you, and then from there is when you get into more of the contact strategy. But this is the highest level of roller derby that I have definitely seen, and I'm sure most of you have, the World Cup. The finest skaters in the world from their respective regions right here at the Sportsplex in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Currently a 25-point jam, make that a 30-point jam for Road Rage.
And Canada's jammer through the initial pass as Road Rage gets through and calls it 30-point jam. Correction, 34-point jam for Road Rage on that one.
One of those.
Less than 6 minutes left.
Another one of those breakout jams, and there have been numerous double-digit jams, more of them for USA East, which reflects in the score the farther this game goes along. But great defense showing as well by both sides. 8-1-5 for Canada, set to jam. Smacklemore once again.
And USA surrounding the army of one for Canada. USA getting the lead jam courtesy of Bonnet. Jammer through for Team Canada.
Canada blocker 13 released. That is Nutcase Nadia, along with number 20. Along with number 22, Connor. Jam is called before there are 2 other Canada blockers and the penalty box that will be in the box when we start up again. Under 5 minutes to go, 5 more points scored for USA East.
So I believe I've seen you out there a couple of times, Murphy, with the army of one. When you have 1 going to the penalty box and 2 in the penalty box, what's the strategy you want to use when you are the army of 1 against a 4-person wall?
Like if a jammer's coming to me?
Just period, because you're only 1 skater, so what is it you want to try to do?
If I know the other team's jammer is coming, I try to put my arms out and make myself look bigger so they will go to my chest, and that gives more time for my other players to go back out. If my jammer's coming up, then I try to get on one side and push, so I'm at least doing some type of offense to help them.
So you're trying to do a penalty kill at the same time, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to stall as much as I can for the rest of my teams to come out.
Definitely not a fun place to be.
Ruckus blocked hard, and and you see more of that positioning as blockers careful not to cut track either. Smooth, Smacklemore stays in bounds, that is Sarah Seidel. Get the numbers right. Sarah Seidel stayed in bounds with that spin move and was able to complete the pass. 5 points scored for USA East, however. Plus 4 makes it 9. 13 plays 8-1-5, 13 Sugar Cookies, and 8-1-5 there's Smacklemore.
Team USA with 1 blocker in the penalty box as Canada lines up at the jammer line. A tripod of East coming up on the inside of the jammer line, and we're off. Excellent blocking by both sides. And Sugar Cookies with your lead jam finding a hole on the outside.
Smacklemore assisted by a blocker, but then blocked out by the pivot. And that is 8-1-7 recycling back Boomerang once again, perhaps earning the name Boomerang with that stellar defense we've seen all day.
I think I threw out how she got that name, but it escapes me right now. But don't worry, it'll come back to me.
I'm sure it will after we're done. And Sugar Cookies scores. Woo! Careful not to land right on the skate there. That was a little scary from my vantage point. 5 points scored plus a couple more in the sky there. Now I see on the Twitch chat, member of Red Stick Junior Derby. Thank you for joining us on the chat. I know your league is one of those that is active on Twitter. And remember, you can follow the Junior Roller Derby Association on Twitter, JRDA_rocks. JRDA_rocks on Twitter. Bonnet, lead jam.
And we got a question about the Great Britain game. That should be taking place around 3:45 as they go up against Europe for 5th place. 5 points on the board for Bonnet. Yes, twitch.tv/WIFTA.
That's right,
Streaming us
WFTDA
live.
bringing this to us, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. The largest and most respected roller derby sanctioning body the world over. Real, strong, athletic, revolutionary. The WFTDA as Bonnet through the pack. More spinning, 20 points.
And we want to thank WFTDA for streaming the Junior World Champs this past weekend. Couldn't have done it without you. I, for one, as well as the other announcers, appreciate all the amazing technical support we've gotten.
I cannot second that enough as someone who has worked in television and produced roller derby video. This stuff is top notch, and we are bringing it to you as close to the track as possible and into your living rooms or wherever you happen to be right now, live on Twitch. As the chants come out and you see the period clock, the jam can still last a full 2-minute time limit depending on what the lead jammer would like to do, and the lead jammer is Princess Leia.
Oh, a nice apex jump on the inside, a turn 1 putting 5 points on the board.
Macklemore through the pack, 1:38 to go in the jam.
Canada blocker standing, another 5 on the board for Slaya. And calls it. Skater down, but it just looks like a bit of a pileup. Everyone's okay, and that is the end.
Unofficial final 400 to 101. We will 104. All right, 10-3. 3 points for Team Canada to skate us out as all the skaters line up. All the remaining skaters here in the tournament, which is all the skaters because we haven't had the final round yet, all line up to slap hands for the victory lap as USA East advancing to the championship game, 399 to Team Canada 104. Canada will still skate for 3rd place, so stay tuned for that.
And thank you for joining us, Mad Dog Murph, to give us an insight on what it's like to be on the track and just telling us what we've been seeing all weekend. We love getting skater feedback, especially one of your level.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
You're very welcome. So again, I'm Tool Time.
I'm Mad Dog.
Oh yeah, and I'm Standby.
And we'll catch you next.
That's
as
right.
Europe goes up against Great Britain.